Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 5 Elementary School Student Conan. Everyone saw Shichen's profile picture dimming and knew that Shichen was offline, so they simply started chatting again. When they were here before, they couldn't let go. After all, this was a boss who was so awesome that he burst into flames. Tony Stark, okay everyone, I'm going to study the fairy grass given to us by Taozan. The energy in it is so powerful. Maybe it can be helpful to the Iron Man suit I develop in the future. Said after that, Tony went offline directly. Uchiha Madara, I'm going down too. There are still some things I need to do. Since Uchiha Madara knew his fate, he began to think about how to solve it. First of all, Baiju couldn't believe it. He had to do it. Be well prepared. Wu Lyoki, Conan, aren't you offline? Wu Lyoki looked at the chat group with only the two of them and couldn't help but ask. Conan, I'll log off immediately. Now that I have an understanding of the Black Organization, things will be much easier to handle from now on. I'm going to think about the future. Wu Lyoki, okay, oh, we have a guest, I'm going to sell offal. Conan, objection? You don't sell offal and give other people haircuts at the same time. It's really hard work. Looking at Wu Lyoki's dim profile picture, Conan felt it was boring and simply logged off. In the bright room, the young man opened his eyes and slowly got up from the bed. Conan still felt incredible when thinking back to what he saw in the chat group. Although there are some ghost legends in their world, they are not as bizarre as this incident. Very good, I didn't expect the Black Organization to be so interesting, with an average of 25 boys per capita. Gin, vodka, bell mode. Conan smiled. Now he has just transformed into the body of a primary school student and has not experienced so much, so many things have not happened. Yesterday, he followed Jin and the others and saw them conducting a secret transaction. Unexpectedly, he was attacked from behind and knocked unconscious by Jin. What happened next was that he took poison, but he didn't die, and turned into a primary school student. Then he came to Dr. Agaz's house, where he was discovered by Zylan, who changed his name to Edogawa Conan in desperation. By the way, there is also Haiwan, the betrayer of the Black Organization who will appear later. Like me, he took the poison developed by the organization. Things are really getting more and more interesting, and I don't have to worry about being found by the Black Organization. But I still can't tell Zylan my true identity. A few days later, with the help of Zylan and others, Conan successfully enrolled in Daitan Elementary School. Looking at the familiar school gate in front of him, Conan couldn't help but smile bitterly. I didn't expect that after I graduated from here for several years, I would be able to study here again. Fate, it would really make fun of me. By the way, why didn't I feel it before? There is something wrong with our world's timeline. I have to find a group of people when I go back. Let me ask you, after all, he is the master of time. Conan thought as he walked into Daitan Elementary School with his school bag on his back. Everyone, please be quiet. Next, I want to introduce a new classmate to you. Teacher Zylan introduced Conan to the primary school students. Hello everyone, my name is Edogawa Conan. Please give me your advice. Conan suppressed the embarrassment in his heart and could only play the role of a primary school student. Phew, it's finally over. I thought I would get used to it after watching the plot, but I didn't expect that I still have no interest in elementary school life. After a day of study, Conan successfully escaped from the school and could finally relax. Hello, Edogawa-san, my name is Yoshida Ayumi, may I meet you? At this time, a little Loli's voice came, and Conan knew without looking that it was those three idiots. Wherever Ayumi is, Jinta and Mitsuhiko will follow. However, he is familiar with the original plot. Although he is sometimes angry with the three little guys, he always makes trouble in various ways. After all, naughty children are very annoying. But looking at it now, I don't find it so annoying. After all, I was good friends with them back then, and we were both members of the young detective team. Hello, I'm Conan Edogawa, nice to meet you. Conan greeted with a smile. And me. My name is Jinta Kojima. My name is Sabaria Mitsuhiko, please give me your advice. Sure enough, there were two little guys, the chubby one was Jinta, and the one with freckles was Mitsuhiko. These three had been playing together. After a few people got to know each other, they left together. Conan knew that he would often be with these elementary school students in the future, so he simply did not refuse to go home with them for a short walk, just to get acquainted with them more. At noon that day, Conan, Maori Kogoro and Maori Lan came to the bank together. It was originally just a simple deposit. But seeing the woman on the counter, Conan's memory suddenly emerged, recalling the other party's final result. Hirota Masami, or Mayano Akimi, Hai Harai's sister, was a participant in this bank robbery and was eventually killed by gin and vodka. Conan looked at Hirota who kept looking at his watch not far away. Tianyame was thinking about the other party in her heart. By the way, she seems to be Akaishuaki's girlfriend. It seems that no matter what, I have to save her. He had seen everything in the destiny space, and could well understand the powerlessness he felt when he saw the other person being killed without saving him, so he had to save him no matter what this time. Not only because the other party is Haiwan's sister, but also because he doesn't want anything to happen to anyone. Although he was called the primary school student of death, he wanted to return the truth to the deceased. Today's Conan is no longer what he used to be. Although the chat group has not passed for a few days, he has spent a long time in his own world. The only difference is that there is a problem with time in this world, and he can never grow up. He used some small inventions of Dr. Agaza and exchanged some ninjutsu with Madara Uchiha. Although the level was not high, it was barely enough in this world. Among them, he has already mastered the three body arts of transformation, substitute, and clone. I wonder if this world has the concept of ninja, but he can learn it easily and understand it. Coupled with his strong mind as a detective, he can learn quickly. Conan planned to save Mayano Akimi, but he was not familiar with her. He had only met her a few times before, and he was still an elementary school student, so he could only decide to save her later. From now on, as long as Mayano Akimi hides her identity, she can stay in the dark at any time. In fact, as long as I give it some time and my ninjutsu is perfected, I can directly wipe out the black organization. Although the other party is very powerful, they are mortal after all, and I can kill them at any time in the future. However, as a detective, he must pay attention to evidence in everything he does. Unless it is a special situation, he will not be ashamed of his belief as a detective. After Masami Hirota teamed up with others to rob the cash transport truck, Conan only informed Kogoro Mori and called the police. After that, he directly found Hirota Masami's house, and after the police searched it, he waited here for the other party's return. Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 6 Saving Mayano Akimi. Finally, night fell, and Hirota Masami returned to her residence. You are finally back, Ms. Hirota Masami. No, it should be said, Ms. Mayano Akimi. Conan's voice came out of nowhere, which startled the other party. But what made her even more incredible was that the other party actually knew her true identity. Oh, it's you, Conan. Why are you still not home so late? And what were you talking about just now? What Mayano Akimi? Mayano Akimi forced herself to be calm, and her heart was full of doubts. Let me introduce myself. My name is Kudo Shinichi, and I am a detective. It was because I ate the poison developed by your organization that I became what I am now. You are the famous high school detective. You actually know about the organization. Mayano Akimi was very shocked. This is a mysterious organization surrounded by huge mysteries, and even she only knows some peripheral things. I'm here to save you. You don't have to refuse. I know you want your sister Shiho Miyano to leave the organization, but you should know that this is impossible. You should know the importance of your sister to the organization better than I do, so there is only one end for you, being killed by Jin and the others. Conan said seriously. Even so, I decided to give it a try. Mayano Akimi was silent for a while, but still shook her head and said, Then do you know what your sister would do if she knew the truth about your death? She will definitely not make medicine for the black organization anymore, and the people in the organization will punish her. If she doesn't surrender, the organization will kill her without hesitation. But what can I do? Our parents were killed by the organization, and I must save Shiho. Mayano Akimi was obviously a little collapsed, and couldn't help but sit on the ground. If you believe me, I can let you see your sister, and I will wipe out the black organization in the future. Conan walked out silently and looked at the woman sitting on the ground in front of him. What can you do? As long as I can get Shiho out of the organization, I can pay any price. As if she had grabbed the last straw, Akimi Mayano tightly grasped Conan's arm and said, I can make you fake your death tomorrow, and then your sister will definitely find a way to get out of the organization. And I found traces of the black organization entering my house. As the developer of this drug, your sister will definitely find that I am not dead and guess that there is something wrong with my drug. If she wants to get out of the organization, she must take this drug. At that time, she can only come to me, and then you sisters can meet. Conan said his plan. Are you sure that my sister will take this drug and become a child like you? Akimi Mayano was surprised and asked. You can only believe in this method, which is also the only way to get her out of the organization. Conan knew that not everyone would become smaller after taking this drug, otherwise the organization would not use this drug to kill people. However, as an important figure in this world, I also understood what the protagonist Halo was, and knew that the other party would definitely not die, so this was the best way. It can only be like this. What do you want me to do? As if she had accepted her fate, Akimi Mayano had to believe Conan. You just need to disappear for a while. I will meet them for you tomorrow. As she said, in order to make the other party believe her, she used her transformation technique. However, this was too incredible, but she also understood ninjutsu. Although this was circulated in this world, no one had ever seen it, but it also gave her confidence. The next day, Conan used ninjutsu as planned to deceive Jin and the others, allowing Akimi Mayano to successfully escape during the holiday. Wulayoki, by the way, how are you practicing? Returning to the chat group again, Conan felt as if he had been in another world. Wulayoki suddenly thought of the skills he had given them before, and asked. Because the time in everyone's world is different, it may be that one day in one world will be a year in another world. However, there will be no such trouble in the chat group, because it will put everyone's time flow together. Conan, I've been busy recently and haven't had time to practice, but I have successfully practiced some simple ninjutsu. Tony Stark, I have practiced for a while, and I can already feel that my strength has increased a little. Uchiha Madara, it is indeed a very powerful technique. We ninjas have never had any techniques, only ninjutsu and chakra, but I don't feel any discomfort. And I feel that even if I practice the first level, I will be stronger than the physical body of the Reikage. Not only that, I feel that my cells are regaining vitality. Conan, since it is so powerful, I have to practice quickly. I'll log off first. Tony Stark, I also have to develop the second generation of Iron Man armor as soon as possible, so that I won't be helpless in the face of Thanos in the future. I don't even have time to be intimate with Pepper. Oh, shit. Speaking of this, Tony also went offline. Really stimulated by the fate he saw before, Tony realized how terrible his world is. What are the multiverses, the cosmic cord, etc.? Uchiha Madara, Wulayoki, why do you keep dwelling on the power of the past? The skills given by Daozun are enough for you to practice for a lifetime. Seeing another group member go offline, Uchiha Madara had no choice but to communicate with Wulayoki. I think so too, but it's so difficult, and I have to work part-time during the day, so I don't have enough time. Wulayoki was a little distressed, but he had to solve all this by himself. Uchiha Madara, your magic sword Thousand Blades is quite interesting. Do you want to make a deal with me? I can give you a shadow clone and teach you ninjutsu. This way you can have time to practice. How about it? Shadow clone technique. Why didn't I think of it? But I can't just give you something as important as the 1,000 blades of the demonic sword. It's so annoying. Wu Lioqi was very surprised when he heard this, but the 1,000 blades of the demonic sword, not only it is a good weapon and has a very important meaning to him, so he does not want to replace the 1,000 blades of the demonic sword. Uchiha Madara, in that case, just pretend I didn't say anything and I'll be offline. Shaking his head, Uchiha Madara also went offline directly. In fact, I didn't really want the 1,000 blade demonic sword, but I was somewhat interested in the sword that could be shattered and then reassembled. Since Wu Lioqi didn't want to change it, there was no need to bother. Wu Lioqi, they're all gone, so I'll go down too. Feeling bored, Wu Lioqi looked at all the group members who were offline, and simply went offline himself, just in time to spend more time practicing. Ancient times, Penglay Fairy Island. Shichen opened his eyes, stood up and walked out of the Vientiane Palace. Meet the Grand Master. Chiang and Baiyu saw that it was time to leave the seclusion and hurriedly came over to salute. You guys are not bad. We have arrived at the Loyo Jingxian. Now that we have nothing to do, I will give a sermon on the Immortal Island. After looking at the cultivation of the two boys, she was quite satisfied, and then planned to give a speech to the Immortal Island. Give a sermon to all living beings. Thank you, eldest master. We will summon all the living beings on the Immortal Island right now. The two boys were overjoyed. It was rare to hear the eldest master's sermon. Although the two boys didn't know how high Shichen's cultivation was, they were absolutely terrifying. What they don't know is that Shichen is a being in the Dao realm, and his preaching is like meeting the Dao directly. There are not only two boys on the fairy island, but also many creatures with spiritual intelligence. These creatures are all innate creatures with good qualifications, but they basically have no transformation. Soon, all the creatures from the fairy island arrived, and all the creatures gathered in front of the Vientiane Palace, quietly waiting for the sermon. When time comes in front of all living beings, the sound of the great way blooms in the mouth, golden lotuses surge from the ground, and various images appear, including flying cranes, roaring apes, and goddesses scattering flowers. Bursts of the sound of the great Dao spread throughout the Immortal Island, making all the creatures listening here intoxicated, as if this was the truth of the great Dao. Time has blocked the connection between this fairy island and the ancient world, otherwise the voice of his sermons would directly spread throughout this ancient world. Originally, the first preacher in the prehistoric times was Hung Jun, and his sermon would bring heavenly merits. If Shicheng allowed his preaching voice to spread throughout the world, as the first preacher and a strong man in the Dao realm, I am afraid that heaven would not dare to bestow merits on him. After all, there is no difference between heaven and Dao facing him and Dao. At this time, the ferocious beasts are still measuring the calamity outside, but it has basically reached the end, and soon the ferocious beast home field will pass. After the ferocious beast Emperor Shen Ni is killed, the ferocious beast will truly withdraw from the stage of the prehistoric era. In the following time, it will usher in the home field of the three clans of Dragon, Phoenix, and Unicorn, and the prehistoric era will usher in the first tribulation of the Long Han Dynasty. Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 7 New Group Members. Shichen's preaching lasted for 1,000 years. When Shichen finished preaching and the strange phenomena on the entire Penglay Fairy Island disappeared, all the living creatures bowed and left. However, Shichen taught them a set of exercises to practice on the island, and ordered that no one could leave the island without his permission. All the living creatures are cultivators, and even if they don't go out for a few yuanhui, they will not feel irritated, but enjoy the fun of cultivation. After sending them away, Shichen returned to the Wangxiang Palace again and began his slacking career. Looking at the chat group of the heavens and the worlds, Shichen's body was filled with the laws of the Great Dao. He directly used his own Great Dao to make up for some chat groups and update some functions. Ding, the chat group has been made up by the power of the Great Dao of Shichen Daizan, and the following content is now updated. New chat group live broadcast, chat group store new products, chat group transmission, and chat group tasks have been added. The few people who were originally diving were blown out by the sudden prompt. Conan, hey, the chat group was suddenly updated. Oh my god, Daozun manually updated it. That's awesome. Tony Stark, my handsome second generation Iron Man suit is almost finished. Is there anyone who wants to try it on? Wu Lioqi, brother Tony, give me 2 when the time comes. Conan, if I wear your suit, will others say that Dozong is so terrifying? Ding, welcome Big Bone boiled into soup, King of Cosmic Dead, and Bald Cape Man to join the chat group of all heavens and worlds. Tony Stark, the chat group's number 2 is here. Why don't you newcomers pay your respects? Wu Lioqi, you are the number 2, then who is the number 1? Also, welcome newcomers to the group. Uchiha Madara, nonsense, of course it's our supreme group leader. In addition, I, Uchiha Madara, only admit that the group leader is better than me. Jiang, you are a big shit. I advise you to learn from your mistakes. Bone made into soup, where is this place? Am I not planting flowers at the Mars base? How come I suddenly appeared here? Cosmic Dead King, is this the technology of some alien? And why am I called the Dead King? Bald Cape Man. Tony Stark, newcomers, let me tell you. When you join this chat group, some basic matters of the chat group will be automatically instilled into your mind. Now recall the new memories in your mind. Also, you can change your group name. Ding, Tony Stark will answer questions for newcomers and get 100 chat group points. Yo, answering questions for newcomers can also get chat group points, which seems good. Tony was a little surprised. He didn't expect that after the update, there would be this benefit. I saw a lot of abilities in the chat group store, but unfortunately I don't have points to buy them. If I had known that answering questions for newcomers could get points, I would have said it first. Seeing this, Conan couldn't help but close his eyes in pain. So that's it? I understand. It's such a magical place. Damn, my flowers. Deku sighed for a moment, then thought of the flowers he was dealing with, and quickly retreated. Honkai, the universe? Although I know there is a multiverse, I didn't expect that there are other universes outside the multiverse. Saitama, people from different worlds. Does that mean there are many strong people? You can take a look at your group level, which represents your current strength and which stage you belong to in the universe. Conan answered, and said that he opened their level to watch. Damn, this newcomer is a bit fierce. What's wrong? Tony saw Conan's face full of shock, and couldn't help but open the level to take a look. It was written on it, UN Deku LV4, Honkai LV3, Saitama LV5. It turns out that I have the strength of the 4th level, which looks pretty good. Deku was online again at this time, and couldn't help but sigh. Am I only the 3rd level? Honkai looked at his level and couldn't help but be silent. I am not the strongest, only level 5. The group leader is so strong, he is actually a level 12 warrior. Saitama looked at his level, but was not happy because he was level 5. Instead, he was more excited when he saw Shichen's bright level 12 title. Newcomers, let me show you your destiny. Shichen spoke at this time, and generated their respective destiny spaces while speaking. Ding, group leader Shichen Daesun uploaded Ultraman Tika, Ultraman Orb, and One Punch Man, and the destiny space has been generated. Group leader Shichen Daesun has obtained 3,000 chat group points. Ultraman Orb. Ultraman Tika. Deku and Honkai were stunned, feeling a little incredible. They didn't expect that the other party was also an Ultra Warrior. Hey, I didn't expect that you were Ultraman in special effects. To be honest, I seem to have seen it when I was a child. Tony smiled and understood a little. Uchiha Madara, these two guys are called Ultraman, are they famous? Conan, I don't know about Orb, but I have seen some of Tika. Tony Stark, I have also heard a little bit about him. I forgot that uploading memories to generate a destiny space will earn points. I finally met someone I know, how could I forget it? Daesun, next time there is a newcomer, can you let me come? Conan suddenly looked sad and angry, as if he had lost something important. If you know, you can upload it yourself. I don't care. Shichen said indifferently. Thank you, Daesun. While everyone was talking, Deku and the other two had already finished watching their own destiny spaces, with a look of shock on their faces. By the way, newcomers, you can choose to edit your own destiny space and then open it to everyone to watch. In addition, our destiny space is also there, so that we can have some understanding of each other. Tony thought of this at this time and kindly reminded. The three were stunned when they heard the words, and then they reacted and hurriedly looked to see if there was anything that needed to be edited. After they were ready, they chose to open it to everyone to watch. Seeing that everyone else went to watch their destiny space, the three were not idle either. They directly selected someone else's destiny space and clicked to watch it directly. In a blink of an eye, everyone had finished watching, with a look of aftertaste on their faces. Tisk tisk, Honkai, you are really good, borrowing money everywhere all day long. Look at how much money you borrowed from Senior Tika and you don't even transform anymore. Tony said with a joking look on his face. Well, I didn't expect that I would experience that kind of thing later, so I lost the Holy Sword of Orb and could only transform with the help of Senior Tika's power. Honkai looked embarrassed, and anyone who was called the Dead King would blush. Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 8 Ultra Warrior. I didn't expect there are so many Ultra Warriors in my world, Kai-san, come on. Deku suddenly appeared. Now Deku is in semi-retirement, staying in the Mars base all day to plant flowers and do scientific research. I will work hard, Senior Tika. Honkai said seriously. Is there anyone who wants to fight with me? I suddenly have the fighting spirit now. At this time, Saitama appeared. Since he became invincible on Earth, his emotions have become more and more indifferent, and his life has lost motivation. Boss Saitama, you think too highly of us. Except for the group leader, who can take your punch. You are one punch man in your world. Wu Lyoki suddenly appeared and said the voice of everyone except Shichen. Hey, Achi is out. You rarely show up. Tony said with some surprise when he saw Wu Lyoki appear. I just registered as an assassin recently and am working hard on the mission. I also met Miss May and I plan to date her. Come on, none of your assassination targets can be killed in the end. You are not suitable to be an assassin now, but you were still okay before. But you can go on a date with your Manhwa Shizen. That girl looks good. Do you want me to teach you some skills to date a girl? Playboy Tony Stark said with a smile. When it comes to picking up girls, he is an old hand in the flower field. Forget it, your tricks are not suitable for me. That's the stuff you rich people play with. Wu Lyoki said helplessly, rejecting Tony's teaching. Uchiha Madara, you Ultra Warriors are really amazing. You can actually become light beings. After transformation, they are like our Susanoo. We Ultra Warriors have been fighting to protect the peace of the universe. Although we are members of the same group, please forgive me for not agreeing with Mr. Uchiha's philosophy. Deku suddenly confronted Uchiha Madara, which made everyone in the group stunned. As an Ultraman, Deku, who always takes protecting humanity as his responsibility, has saved all mankind. Deku does not like Uchiha Madara. Although Uchiha Madara wants peace in the ninja world and allows everyone to enter the illusion to achieve peace. But in the eyes of Deku and most people, this is not true peace, so Deku is a little disgusted with Uchiha Madara. Don't worry, since I met the chat group and knew my fate, I no longer plan to implement the Moon Eye plan. The ninja world does not need that kind of empty peace. As long as I become the strongest and stay alive, the ninja world will not be in chaos. Uchiha Madara said his plan and planned to suppress it directly by force. Although Deku did not understand it very well, it was undoubtedly very effective in the world of ninjas. After all, Uchiha Madara now has the hope of becoming stronger and immortal. Although Deku did not understand it very well, He also understood that this would not be a big problem for Uchiha Madara in the future, so he was too lazy to pay attention to the other party's plan. As long as it is not a big devil who slaughters the world, the Ultraman is still easy to talk to. Shichen looked at the people who were discussing fiercely and chose to log off directly. The life in the chat group was just a diversion in his long life. However, before logging off, he deliberately separated a spirit and attached it to the chat group. However, unlike the real body entering the chat group, he directly attached his spirit to the chat group, and the time ratio was synchronized with the chat group, but it was different from the real time. Seeing Shichen's offline, everyone in the group suddenly relaxed. With the top boss watching them, they couldn't let go. At this time, everyone suddenly saw Shichen's avatar light up again, and it seemed that he was online again. Shichen, don't worry about me, I am a spiritual force separated from the main body, attached to the chat group. I have my own wisdom, which belongs to the main body, but I am not the main body. This is me created by the main body using the personality of your technological world. Tony Stark, Daozun is not an ordinary person, and he can play like this. Shichen, you can call me the boss. Although it is a bit narcissistic, it is still interesting to hear you call me like this. By the way, if you encounter any problems that cannot be solved in the future, you can directly find me. I can stay online all the time. The group chat will not explode, and the chat will not go offline. Honkai, Senior, you are really amazing. By the way, I have already obtained the Orb Holy Sword at the top of the warrior. Congratulations on officially becoming an Ultra Warrior. It's a pity that I can't travel through the world, otherwise I will go over to help you. Deku couldn't help but say when he saw Honkai appear. After all, they are both Ultra Warriors, and they are in the same dimension, so they are a little familiar. Thank you, Senior Deku, but I just became an Ultraman after all, and I still need more training. I said, have you forgotten that the chat group has a new chat group transmission function? By the way, let's start a live broadcast at that time. Tony interrupted at this time. I see, thank you Senior Tony, I will go and check out the transmission function now. Honkai was overjoyed when he heard this. Although he said before that he didn't need Deku to come, he could grow better with the help of a senior. Moreover, he saw something in the fate space. His best friend, Gagra's Gagra, turned evil because his apprentice was killed. Although Gagra often opposed him later, there was still light in his heart, so he would come out to help him every time he encountered a crisis. So this time Kai planned to invite Deku to help him at a critical moment and save Gagra by the way. Tony Stark, by the way, give me some of your light. I feel that this is very valuable for research. Maybe we can develop some new armor. And we can also experiment to see if we can make something similar to the orb card. I will give you a few when the time comes. By the way, Senior Deku, isn't your spark prism gone? Can you still transform into Tika? Kai was a little confused. Although Deku's level was higher than his, he could watch the spark prism disappear, so how could he still transform into Tika? Before I went to Mars to settle down, the super ancient dark warrior in the ruins of Liluyu was revived. The one inside was Tika's girlfriend 30 million years ago. At that time, I got the dark light rod and used it to transform into Tika and defeat the other party. Not only that, after entering the chat group, I found that I could actually transform by my own power a long time ago. Everyone can transform into light by their own power. Transform into light by your own power. Kai looked at Deku's words and didn't quite understand. Although he was already a qualified warrior before becoming Orb, he was still a new generation of Ultra Warrior, so he didn't quite understand his words. Shichen, you Ultra Warriors are all a group of people who only care about power. The stronger the power in your heart, the stronger its light will be. The light will not disappear, it is just temporarily blocked by your heart. When the light in your heart becomes stronger, your power will become stronger. I agree with this point. Everyone has light in their hearts. When facing Gatenja, if the light in my heart disappeared, and the light in the hearts of the children disappeared, the world would really be shrouded in darkness. Deku agreed after hearing this.